Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where in the world you are tuning in from, in Turin, just like it is in southern Italy, where Mario is, of course, in the same country, the same time zone. Maybe northern Italy and southern Italy would like to be different and maybe a different time zone, although that would be unusual. But anyway, listen, I've gone off at a slight tangent. We are here to talk about Alex de Minaur, Daniil Medvedev, a question that I think, who is the favorite today? Bearing in mind, normally we would have Medvedev the favorite, right, Mario? But the form of Daniil, I don't really know.
I think it's kind of a 50-50 before the match, because it's not for me, when it's about Medvedev, I mean, it's not for me about the level he can play at. But I think the start of the match will probably be very important, considering what he said about fighting, about all these things. So probably if the match doesn't start well, he can, I don't know, not be, not have that, willingness to stay there and try everything he can in order to, even maybe unconsciously a little bit, to try 100% to recover. Has probably it happened once if went down a set on the break against Fritz, probably just after the first set too. De Minaur is a little bit different story. Probably, let's see, this is a passing shot in the net. I wanted to say probably de Minaur is a little bit different story. He's not probably that peak level. We know Medvedev in a nice day, a good day for him, he can express on the court. But at the same time, he feels a bit more mentally there, and so more able to express kind of a consistent, let's say, level and stay there kind of regardless of the score. So yeah, I think it's more or less a 50-50 right now, considering how both are doing and playing this particular moment.
Yes, the Google pictures, Brazy, are not my responsibility. They do look, some of the players.
Daniil too, actually.
Yeah, Daniil as well. Yeah, I don't know why they don't or can't update these. But then sometimes on the ATP or WTA website, sometimes they don't have a picture, or sometimes the picture is, at least when you just press Google, sometimes the picture is false. Sometimes you'll see a picture of Novak Djokovic. Just like
so many times, Djokovic Sinner, many times.
Yeah, exactly. There's also another thing. I think it's more on the WTA website. There are some free tennis photos, okay, which I think pretty much everyone has access to. It's like just like a picture of a tennis ball on a tennis court. There's like 10 of these, and I don't know why the WTA is using these pictures, because they have access to pretty much every picture you need, But sometimes,
even if I know what do I know is that it has to come from the players. If the players wants to, ATP, WTA organize, I think, yearly some photo shoot and everything.
Normally in Indian Wells, a lot of these pictures are taken, I think.
But if the player wants to change the image, which is available on his hair profile, they can just send the picture to.
Of course. But what I'm referring to is often there's like a tennis news story. I don't know, X player withdraws from X tournament. And it's very easy to just find a picture of them playing tennis. By the way, talking of which, Mario, I've just seen your tweet regarding Carlos Alcaraz. I didn't know about this until now.
Yeah, even if Ferrero actually didn't seem, contemplating the idea of withdrawing still from that same journalist. I mean, he published also some quote from Ferrero. Well, for sure, he's not in good shape. That's for sure. He's also, having that nose tape. He was having, the one we are used to see Nicolas Jarry with that. And so far, I think there's no real risk of him withdrawing. But I wouldn't be surprised either if, tomorrow wakes up not feeling well and decides
That's
to
the key, isn't
withdraw.
it? How does he wake up tomorrow? Probably to
Yes,
withdraw now.
exactly. Because when it's about an illness, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a bit unclear. Because maybe,
exactly.
you know, tomorrow he can breathe better and tries to. One thing is sure, you know, as it happened last year against with Tsitsipas, it was who retired.
Hmm.
This is the 8 best players of the year in the world right now, and they have, I think, all the right to take all the time they need in order to take their decisions. That's for sure. That's my opinion.
Some lovely rallies, not the one that ended the point there with an unreturned serve from de Minaur into the body. We had a break point saved, but we had a 21-shot rally, which often we don't see until the match is, you know, got some energy in it, and we've seen plenty of games. So that's
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, that was a really exciting rally that finished with a de Minaur passing shot. It was, you know, a passing shot he should make 7 times out of 10. But as Jake points out here, some nice slices and net approaches, which was something I know that pre-match. So Damien did a stream for the doubles match earlier. At the end, he answered some questions, and some people in the live chat were also suggesting that maybe de Minaur can mix things up a bit, come to the net. Damien was quite big on de Minaur at the net. Are you confident that de Minaur can de Minaur serve and volley, for example, which is obviously a tactic we know has worked
Why
against
not?
Medvedev in the past? Mm.
Why not? It's not got a bad serve, you know. Also, I think if you want to serve and volley, it's not really about, you know, how powerful you go on serve, but you have to find kind of the right spot, you know, with Medvedev staying far, you know, on return, it can be possible, of course. Also to try to put some pressure on him. The only thing is that one thing Daniil, even when he's in bad form, can do is returning very well. So it won't be very, very easy. But yeah, for sure. I think that, you know, the Minaur has this ability to, yeah, to try mixing things up a little bit. For sure it will be easier to do this today rather than against Yannick Sinner, because Sinner, you know, plays at kind of another speed compared to Medvedev's shots, especially right now where you know, rhythm is very, very high, so it's a bit difficult to come forward as we've seen, you know, on Sunday. So why not? I think it's possible. You know, the Minaur lately has got some wins against Medvedev this year on clay, but also I think he won 3 out of the last 5, something similar.
Okay.
So he kind of, you know, got a little bit what he can do in order to build some chance in a match against Medvedev. Let's see also Daniil what he will try to do, even if, I mean, he's in a very tough situation
Right
for many
now,
different reasons. Yeah,
what's the head to head, by the way? Is it 5-3 for Medvedev?
6-3.
6-3.
4-0 it was, and after that I think 3-2 for de Minaur. I mean, all de Minaur's wins have been in you know, the
Recently.
most recent matches.
Got it. Yeah, so 6-3 there. Let's just have a quick look. You mentioned that one at Roland Garros this year. That was actually quite a good match, actually, with Medvedev taking the first set, but ultimately de Minaur emerging as the winner in 4. I think de Minaur eventually went out to Zverev in maybe was it 4 sets that he lost to Zverev in de Minaur at Roland Garros?
I think 3 close ones. That's
3
what I
close. I
remember.
remember it being quite okay. So even though it was 3 sets, I do remember. I always thought Zverev would win, but it was exciting. I thought that match, despite
It
being
was
a
okay. It was a good match. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right. So yeah, Medvedev winning the first 4 matches, 2 of which came in 2018, which is probably when they took the pictures of Medvedev and de Minaur
Yeah, probably.
on Google. But yes, those four matches all on a hard court, 1 indoors and 3 outdoors. They then de Minaur had his first win at indoor hard, so that's interesting. They've played indoor hard twice, and they've got 1 win apiece. So even with this information, this intel that we have here on the screen right now, it probably does feel a bit like a 50-50. But as you say, you would probably lead Daniil if everything was kind of normal. But with what we saw with Daniil, both this year, probably since Australia, but also this week or the last few days in Turin, what did you make of, first of all, what did you make of the match, the performance? and also some of the interesting behavior from Daniil Medvedev against Taylor Fritz.
It was a bad performance for sure.
Yeah.
And it started quite well, actually, in my opinion. The first 5-6 game, I was watching Daniil moving the ball quite well, using the drop shot a little bit too, to get out on some difficult situations. But yeah, then also mental, it became worse and worse. One Taylor started building a lead, even if more than started building, it's been actually Daniil's serve kind of breaking down. It's difficult because we know that Daniil has been suffering with some shoulder issue.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't know if I can, say 100% that all these double faults and issues that he has on the second serve all depend on the shoulder. Because, when I saw the first serve against Fritz, I think it was quite okay, so I don't know if he's also having some, I don't know. First, one thing is I'm sure that these issues on the second serve, are becoming kind of worse and worse. I don't know if it's also a matter of not having confidence in this shot, also because most time it kind of breaks down when he's in trouble. For example, he's serving to stay in the set, as it happened against Fritz, and he's kind of 3 in a row, 30-15, 30 all. 30-40 and set for Taylor Fritz, so probably he has also lost this, confidence to hit this second serve. I don't know. For example, I remember when it was Zverev suffering from this kind of issue, which right now he seems having solved. So yeah, I don't know. It also seems something mental, but yeah, I think he also needs to kind of think well how he wants to progress, to keep himself very competitive in the net. He is competitive even in this form, but at his level, I mean, because this level is not what we are used to watch him playing. He's still competitive. I mean, he's 4 in the world, 5 maybe if Fritz does very well in Turin. So but I'm pretty sure he's not happy with what he's doing right now.
I mean, it's about ambition, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
It's often the case that when we talk about these players, it's all about context. If Liam Brody makes the ATP Tour finals and loses in straight sets to Taylor Fritz, we're still going, this is just unbelievable. And it would be for pretty much any player outside the top 20. But Daniil's ambitions, just like Stefanos Tsitsipas, just like Holger Rune and some of these other guys that maybe, we sort of have moments where we, So, somebody asking about Heliovaro and Patton. They won in straight sets earlier. They were serving for the match, actually, and got broken. So it suddenly looked like we might have a couple of tie breaks. But in the end, they broke quickly again. And a 2-0 in that group. So that was there on. John, why is it only Medvedev that's complaining about the quality? I don't think it is just Medvedev, Brazy. I've seen other players. Who is it? I think I've seen Alexander Zverev.
I have published a big explanation made by Zverev yesterday.
Yeah, right. Okay. On Ubi Tennis or elsewhere?
No, on Twitter.
On Twitter. Okay. I'll check it out. In the meantime, I'll share the score.
I think it's also that one quote that you have read, maybe. And I don't know. But I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of people. I think what the problem with this ball discussion is it does sort of vary from player to player. And also I think amateurs, include, people that play tennis, but probably don't
see the difference.
Yeah, right. So, but then there's also other players and other coaches as well that don't see it as being a big issue as well. So there does seem to be a wide variety of opinions. And of course, the ones that are loudest are the ones that are not maybe winning the tennis matches as often as they'd like.
Yeah. So. Answering to the comment, I don't know if, Ruud was mentioning the ball debate in general when he made that criticism. I thought the criticism was mostly, towards player complaining while he is playing the match on the court, which I also think is kind of, I don't know. Right now you are on court. You cannot do nothing. You can't tell the umpire to change the ball. I don't know, from Dunlop to Wilson, for example, or anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, they doing controversy. For example, Medvedev with the umpire, but just because he's nervous on the court. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult. Zverev there was talking about the quality not being that good,
Okay.
because of some, not revisionism. It's a bad word. I wanted to say, some cut in the quality they made during COVID, and they never came back to what they were using before the COVID pandemic.
Got it.
That's what he told us yesterday, because he said that being on the Players Council, he made some research on this. So I thought like publishing, because it's, I think, quite an insightful answer, even if I, of course, having different opinions would be great.
Yeah.
That drop shot here, so we have the break. I don't know if you have seen.
Yeah, no, you're ahead of me, but okay. So we've got.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem at all. So we've got the Medvedev break already at 2-1. But to be honest with you, all service games here have been quite competitive. I think, have they all gone to juice so far?
Yes,
I think all three?
yes.
And Medvedev did have a break point in the previous game. And a couple of points to mention here. There's a lovely Medvedev point that set up the break point with sending Medvedev the wrong way, going behind him. And also you mentioned the drop shot, but also there was also another point in this match, which maybe Medvedev should have won, but he took a risky sort of what looked a bit maybe impatient at the time, backhand down the line that went over the high part of the net. By the way, that drop shot, I see what you mean. The drop shot from Minaur, dearie me. He will be disappointed with that. But maybe this is what people were suggesting in the chat earlier and pre-match, that Minaur is going to do things a bit differently. That's great, but you've also got to execute. And there, Minaur definitely didn't execute, and Medvedev punished him.
Yeah, I don't know if breaks will be that big of a factor. Is
it slowing down a bit in Turin this year, the court speed? That's what people have been saying.
Yes, even if, in my opinion, it's also the players' field that has changed. That is a little bit slower, it's okay. But this year we have many players whose return is very strong, For example, if you compare to the 2022 edition, we had Auger-Aliassime, Fritz, who still had not developed as he had right now, Tsitsipas. We had, we didn't have all these players who has in their return a big strength, like Alcaraz, Sinner, Medvedev, Minaur himself. So, also the game style is a little bit different. It's a little bit slower than usual, but I think that it's quite similar actually to most of the courts we have seen this year. Not as fast as Paris, because Paris has been quite super fast this year. But I think it's, I agree with Medvedev when he said medium fast. That's what I got.
I've just a very big tangent. I just found something quite amusing on Twitter. I'm going to share this right now. It's a couple of tweets here. WTA just confirming, obviously, Sabalenka is the year number one, outstanding season, 2 Grand Slams, etc., etc. And a comment here: huge congratulations to Sabalenka on your team. An incredible season, so impressive and entertaining to watch, from somebody called James Webber. And I thought, okay, James Webber is somebody that maybe I should know about, because this seems like a very formal thing, perhaps from a rival team. Maybe he's a coach of a fellow player, maybe even somebody on the team of a top 50 player, for example, that I just don't know who they are. So I thought, okay, let's see who James Webber is. And the beginning says, irrelevant person who loves following sports, and mentioned how he's also a whiskey enthusiast with 17 followers. So yeah, James, you've become relevant right now anyway, so that's quite cool.
Another double fault.
Yay.
No, you are probably on love 15 still.
I'm on 15 all. 15 all.
Okay, good.
Funny how Medi wears the Lacoste shoes, and yet you've got Novak obviously with Asics and Lacoste, but you've also got somebody like the Novak one's a bit more explicable because he probably has contracts that are like maybe 5 years of Asics, and then the Adidas or Uniqlo. I think Uniqlo was his last maybe deal, and then that comes to him. But the one with Dimitrov though, he still wears the Nike shoes. So I thought that he might have switched to Lacoste shoes as well, but clearly not.
I have no idea.
No, I just went off at a tangent there. But yeah, I've just seen that double fault. At least that second serve was very close to the line.
Yeah.
It was a slow second serve, but he's already hit 3, which is, for two service games. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a nice
Thing is
forehand
that,
winner.
right now he's not even that player that, I don't know, he goes 3-1 ahead and they get fully confident, like, okay, no way he loses this set,
Like you would have done 2 to 3 years ago.
Yes, exactly. I don't know, even last year when he was playing very well at the beginning. So yeah, but I mean, he started okay, it's more or less what I was expecting in terms of what I'm watching on the court, regardless of the result.
Bit of an enigma. I mean, he always has been a bit of an enigma, but maybe in more
For
ways.
different reasons.
Yeah. Because the enigmatic side of him before was the fact that he was winning tennis matches and tournaments and yet playing in such an unauthorized manner. But it was fun. But yeah, the enigmatic side of it is increased as the results have gone a little bit off.
Yeah, and especially this part of the year, because he's 10 out of 20, 10-10 in the last 20 matches played.
Yeah.
So it's not a great run because, the beginning of the year hasn't been bad, I
mean, it was good. I just want to, from memory, his run to the Australian Open final was, he had, okay. Yeah.
Well, he was a bit of ups and downs, but I mean, the results, he was winning still so many matches, at the beginning of the year.
But it wasn't an easy. It wasn't an. I just remember Borges in the 4th round and thinking, I like Nuno, but on a hard court in Australia, that's not a bad 4th round. But I mean, I knew he played lots of sets, as we can see on the screen here. But Felix 3rd round, Rusevori 2nd round, Hurkacz and Zverev. It's not an easy run to the final, if you like. So he had to put in some good performances for sure.
No, for sure. Probably that match against Rusevori, 2nd round, probably would have loved having a kind of a different start from that match.
Yeah. But 2 sets down, yeah.
Yeah, the other matches, I mean, I cannot really, we cannot really complain about the way he won. I mean, against Ubi, he also has kind of a not easy head-to-head against Hurkacz.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
It was, it's a match that it's always kind of difficult for him. Nothing surprising, seeing him going to 5. Zverev, I mean, he's a great player. So, I mean, it's not an easy match. So you cannot really complain about him going 5 there. It's like that. I mean, best of 5 can or you, I don't know, mop the floor, or it can become difficult to sustain that level for 7 matches. And it kind of did. I mean, it wasn't a bad tournament for me. Absolutely.
Medvedev here has De Minaur here has a game point. I didn't think De Minaur played the 30-15 point very well, but he's got to game point anyway. So this tournament right now, the ATP finals, there's been a lot of talk in the last few days about maybe not the most exciting lineup, or there's not a lot of anticipation this year, whereas every other year pretty much there is, of course, when you have the 8 best players of the year. Of course, we're missing Novak from this group this year for one reason or another. Do you understand, or are you as pumped as ever for this tournament?
I don't really understand, actually.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think Billie Jean King Cup overlapping, maybe, just because I think you've got ego. Oh, what have I missed?
No, nothing, because you have to see yet.
I'm watching. Yeah, I'm watching the Juice Point. Oh, lovely, lovely. That's what I'm seeing. The Juice Point.
Lovely volley.
Yeah, very nice from Daniil. Yeah, I think the Billie Jean King Cup overlapping, often that wouldn't make a big difference, but Ego obviously being there, Emma Raducanu as well,
I
Britain.
mean, I'm not
Poland,
nostalgic. That's the issue, you know.
Okay.
I'm not here, crying because we don't have
Agree.
Nadal or Djokovic for the first time in a lot of time. When I watched the post saying for the first time since 2001, we don't have the big three and we have the image in black and white. And, I'm not very romantic from that point of view. I'm like, okay, we have the players, we can watch the matches.
Nice cat and mouse there. I know what you mean, Mario, but my take, which I think is different to yours, is not just that, although for sure that does have an effect on me. But the other thing is, if we had 4, 5, 6 contenders, if you said to me that there were 6 players who could win this tournament, I would feel like that. I mean, last year as well,
That's
we had
right, but I think it's been very often like that. That we have 2 or 3, even when there was, I don't know, the big 3 playing. I don't think that the tournament was incredibly open.
I mean, last year, of course, you had a big favorite in Djokovic, but we had that incredible match with Sinner in the second match. But I think we thought that Sinner was building. We thought that probably, we thought this could be a Sinner win, and it turned out to be a Sinner, 3-set epic match. But also Holger Rune against Djokovic often is a good match. Whether we think Holger Rune can win that tournament last year, probably not. But we do think that could be interesting. And was it a straight sets win for Novak, but it was difficult, or did it go 3?
3, I think.
3, exactly, yeah. So we remember.
I think you kind of remember straight set because Novak got, a big lead early in the deciding set. And so, it wasn't very close to winning from Holger. But, yeah, I mean, I get what you say, maybe it's also because of, I don't know, even the likes of Sinner and let's say also Alcaraz, but even Zverev, last year they weren't this strong. I think Alcaraz was out of form. Sinner was building, yes, and in the end it proved to be very strong in that tournament. But we weren't sure. It was still kind of the fairy tale of him growing up in the ranking.
But there's other players last year, if Zverev wins the title, if Medvedev of 2023 wins the title.
Then there are players, probably some people will, I don't know, kill me for saying this, but there are some players who are also a bit overrated in the public opinion.
Okay.
For something they have won, I don't know, 6 years ago. For example.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to explain better.
No, I think I know who you mean, but I think you say that when you say public opinion, you mean fans. But I think there's a lot of people within the media, and I'm going to say it, Stefanos Tsitsipas, for example, is a long way from winning big tournaments right now. And I'm not thinking of him like even a year ago. I think I did a power rankings and I put him at 8 in those power rankings. And just watching an epic rally here at Deuce. Cool, lovely from Daniil. He should win the point now. Does he win it? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, so he does fall in that category, but Rune is exciting. I mean, there was another argument that I didn't necessarily agree with, which was from, I think his name's Mike James. He's been on the team of I think he's still on the team of Holger Rune, works for Mouratoglou, I think, in some capacity. Do you know who
I know him very well.
Yeah. So he said that there's also a lack of personalities this year. But, he's a Holger Rune, Stefanos Tsitsipas, Mouratoglou kind of guy in that, obviously he works with these people. And Holger Rune and Stefanos Tsitsipas are big personalities.
The problem is also when this personality doesn't shine in the right way, because, I don't know, Medvedev has personality, but if personality means the match is over at 6-4, 3-2 because I start throwing the racket, the fans don't enjoy it. The match is over before it's really over. You know
By
what
the
I mean?
way, by the way,
Yeah.
Medvedev now double break, which is kind of surprising for me. I thought that we'd have, 2, 3 very tight sets. But listen, of course, there's a long, long way to go. But maybe this mixing up from De Minaur is not working today. And Daniil Medvedev, at least will say this anyway. Let's talk about Medvedev right now. 5 games dialed in, which is the complete opposite of what we saw for, as you
That's why I
said,
say the start, you know?
the first 7, 8, 9 games the other day against Taylor Fritz. No problem with that. It was a competitive match. And don't forget that Taylor only won that first set because of 2 or 3 horrible points in a row from Daniil. I think there was at least, it was at 2 double faults in a row to lose that
3.
first.
He
3 double
was
faults.
he was 30-15 up in that
Yeah.
game.
So that's
And
it. And the fourth one, though, the third one too, but the fourth one especially did feel like, it's 30-40. So it just seemed like he was really annoyed. And that annoyance,
yeah,
obviously, continued for the next hour or so, or 45 minutes. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people were suggesting Medvedev before that match. I think I did. I
it's
know
okay.
I did. Did you? Okay. I did go Fritz in the end, but only like at the last minute, I was like, no,
No, I
Taylor's
don't
going
know.
to
I don't remember actually
win. Okay.
what I was thinking. I
Can Taylor do something today against Yannick?
probably, but I don't know. I mean, kind of. Let's say I kind of think yes, but at the same time, I'm saying or maybe not. I'm kind of in this mood because he hasn't been perfect in the matches he played against Yannick this year, the US Open, and then it was Laver Cup against Carlos, and also it was not really a close affair. So, but I mean, the pressure is off because he already won in straight in the first match. So, it's not like he has to win in order to keep himself alive in the tournament. So maybe with the pressure being a little bit off, he can play a good one.
Ooh, that's a lovely point we've just seen where De Minaur did lots of good things, an amazing slice, moving Medvedev around, Medvedev staying in the rally. And then Medvedev had a half chance. It's not much more than a half chance, this, maybe a bit more. Anyway, just clinical for Medvedev, taking advantage of the wide open space on the forehand side of De Minaur. But De Minaur didn't do a lot wrong there. But Medvedev ultimately wins the point, which is good for him. Listen, I haven't seen many matches from Daniil Medvedev since the US Open, but this 5 games from him have been the best 5 games I've seen from him in a long time, put it that way. Look at that. Lovely, lovely backhand again that he had to bend down for that and clinically put that away. Yeah, as I say, dialed in right now.
Yeah, let's see if it will last for the whole match.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I still have that kind of fear, that if something starts going wrong, the demons can be back. That's kind of my fear regarding him.
Yeah. I mean, he's won that game to love, which is nice as well. I mean, also don't forget the one service hold that De Minaur did at least go to deuce. So,
yeah, I mean, the set, I think it's more or less over because, it's still a couple of breaks. So you would need really to collapse in order to, to lose this set. And I don't think he will. But yeah, of course, the match is still quite long. Even after the first set is over, he still needs to win a full one. Let's see. But for sure, the start is promising. That's for sure.
Did you see the Casper Ruud Alcaraz match yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, most people are like going, Carlos, health, that's why it happened. Do you have some kind words for Casper?
It happened for both reasons.
Okay.
I think, from the beginning, I thought that it was not Casper the most likely one in the group to finish a 0-3, in my opinion.
So you have Rublev more in that category, or you had him before the tournament began?
I see Casper ahead of Andre in terms of, also the record he has in Turin, I think speaks for himself compared to Andre, who doesn't have a
This
good
is
record
Casper's
there.
third appearance in Turin?
For Casper,
Yeah,
yeah,
third,
third.
yeah. Of course, he made the final, didn't he?
The
In
semi in
2022.
21, the final in
Semi in
22,
21, okay.
and yeah, he is playing right now for the third time. Of course, let's see. He started well. I mean, it was a good match from his side. You have, of course, to use your chances in order to win a match. We still saw how Carlos had in him 10-15 minutes of great tennis, and if you're not able, as Casper did, to stay there also mentally, and even if you go down to 5, you know that he's in that not best mode, but you are there and say like, okay, I can still, I can stay there, I can still win this one, I can. I don't know if all the players would be able to do it. So for sure, it's a great performance and a great way to start the tournament, and also a confidence boost, regardless of which condition your opponent was. So you go playing Zverev, having already won kind of the most difficult match, or one of the two most difficult matches of the group, and so you can keep doing well. So I think that we always have to look both sides, when we analyze a match. That's for sure.
Two very quick service holds, both to love. And so we are now at 5-2 with Daniil serving for the first set with those two breaks. Do let us know your thoughts in the live chat as well on anything that we've obviously just been speaking about, and how you see this tournament progressing. Am I right in thinking the Billie Jean King Cup finishes next Wednesday? Is that when the last match is?
Do you have the date?
I think it's Wednesday, the 20th of November. Is that right? Because that would overlap. That means the
20th
Davis
is Wednesday.
Okay, so the Davis Cup starts, I think, on the 19th. So we'll have two pretty chaotic days in Malaga, I guess.
Yeah, even because it's both in Malaga, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Last year, of course,
Okay.
the Billie Jean King Cup was in Seville. But there was a gap last year. I remember leaving Seville on the Monday, and maybe Davis Cup started on the so last year Billie Jean King Cup final was on a Sunday. I went to Malaga on the Monday, and I think it started on the Tuesday. But Medvedev.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's in order to create, also multiple sessions.
The only thing is, you're going to have probably Rafa playing. Just watching this first.
Rafa plays on the last day of the
Okay, so
quarterfinals.
Thursday then.
Thursday
Okay,
is,
good.
if I understood well, because
good
Italy,
because of the Billie Jean King Cup final. I wouldn't want that and Rafa happening on the same day.
No, I'm pretty sure because Italy plays in the first session of the Davis Cup against Argentina, and it's the opposite side of the draw as Spain. So that's why I thought this.
So Medvedev here at 30-15. Are you at 30-15 on your screen, Mario?
Yes.
Cool. I'm not at 30-15. I'm at 15 all.
And
but I can see you're at 40-15. Okay, cool.
Now the point is over.
Yeah, but tell us about this point, Mario, because we've got two set points here, Medvedev.
Yeah, two set points. I mean, not a big pressure moments. First service in. Oh, good return, actually. The Minaur misses the forehand, so 6-2.
Nice. Medvedev, clinical.
Yeah, the Minaur a little bit erratic. Probably, Medvedev starting well put on him a bit of pressure, probably, to try to do more with his shots. Here he had a chance to attack, can come into the net. That's what he wanted to do, but the forehand, went into the net. Let's see if Daniil will keep playing well in the second set, because the first one was, I mean, not difficult, but it was the best one this week for him.
Nerlan here saying, why are you not doing an Ask Mario question? I did it for Damien. Yeah, let me tell you this, Nerlan. The reason I did that was there's a couple of reasons. One, because it was coming towards the end of the stream, and I wanted Damien to stay live for another 5 minutes, because I was on a train, and I wanted to get home. There's a thing on YouTube you can do now, Mario, where you can do there's a thing called a redirect button, okay? But I need to be on the laptop. What that means is, when one live stream ends, I can redirect you. So when that ends and I click end stream, when you're watching the stream at home, it then takes you to our next live stream. But you've got to press a couple of buttons. So I just wanted Damien to stay live. But that's not the only reason. There was a couple of things that I wanted to get from Damien that I thought would be very useful. One in particular was a preview for Jannik Sinner against Taylor Fritz, which is happening later. And the earlier I get that preview, the better. Because if I get that 1 hour before the match starts, that's only got a 1 hour life, okay? So if I was to do it now with you, and I can do it with you later, but I won't be cutting that, putting it a separate video.
Yeah, for sure.
It's getting too late. But what we're going to do right now is at the end of this set, feel free in the live chat to ask Mario any questions you want. We're related to anything pretty much. But before we do that, we're going to hear Damien's thoughts on Jannik Sinner against Taylor Fritz.
Okay, let's do this.
Ready? Play.
Can Fritz hurt Sinner? Maybe a set. I think Fritz absolutely can hurt Sinner, but it's only in like a serve botting scenario. So he has to serve out of his mind and hope for tie breaks, hope for tight games, maybe like one break point somewhere, which he converts. But that's the only way, really. And it is a more exciting match than the US Open, purely because, well, Taylor is actually going to have that opportunity there. Whereas at the US Open, the margins weren't going to be that slim. It was just going to be the same sort of like baseline tennis between them. And you know that Taylor does nothing better than Jannik, like literally nothing. It's a little sad, it's a little depressing, but there's no aspect of the game where Fritz is better than Sinner. And that hurt him at the US Open. But if this one is closer, if the margins are slimmer, maybe.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. There we go. And that video as well. If you love that video so much, you can watch it over and over again on YouTube right now. Just having a quick look at some of the comments in the live chat. Rude was on the Nothing Major pod. What is Nothing Major? I don't know this podcast. No. And said he thought the ball debates were stupid and his favorite fast food is. Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of different opinions on from the players on this. Some think it's important. Some people think it's causing injuries. Some people think it's others. So yeah, what's this about Alex hurting his hip going to the net? Is that today?
It was very early,
okay.
But I don't think it's affecting actually. You know, watching this, the beginning of the second set seems playing well, holds to love. So after a good start in a set, which is of course vital for him.
Brazy here talking about Siniakova. I saw, I think, a tweet from you earlier as well, mentioning how often she's been world #1 in dubs, and once again,
yeah, only one player has had more year-end #1 finishes than her,
and that player is,
which is Navratilova.
Okay,
yeah. 5 times.
Okay.
So
Siniak has got many years left yet. So
yeah, it's possible to see her doing it another one. So let's see if she will be able to do it. But yeah, not at all something impossible to imagine.
Of course, her and Krejcikova barely play anymore, but did they play together? They played together at the Olympics, didn't they?
Yeah, but they didn't get the medal.
No.
She got the medal in mixed.
Yes, of course she did, famously, yeah. But yeah, that was a surprise. That I don't remember who they lost to, but yeah.
Schneider Andreeva.
Okay.
They got the silver.
Daniil holds. Just a couple of stats from the first set. Winners from Medvedev 13, just 5 off the racket of Minaur. Of course, winning just 2 games maybe helps explain it. Medvedev also hitting a few more unforced errors, which may be a little bit of a surprise, 14-8 in that category. Medvedev winning 81% of his first serves. That is very, very useful. Just a couple of things also in the live chat. Somebody asking me about my favorite restaurant or restaurant.
Nothing major. Okay.
Yeah, what is that Nothing Major podcast?
In the comments they are explaining. Isner, Sock, Johnson, Query.
Oh,
The
okay,
idea
I know
is
that. Yeah, I do know
none
that.
of them have won any majors.
Yeah, okay. That's quite a funny name for the
Yeah.
podcast. I think it's Query, by the way, who every now and again posts a very amusing video on social media.
Yeah, he is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, restaurant in Seville, Duo Tapas in the Alameda is amazing. That's a particular favorite of mine. But the restaurant scene changes so much in Seville that even in 6 months, some of these restaurants come and go. There is another one, something Negra near the cathedral. Gato Negro, maybe.
Well, after the past, the first games were very hard fought, and the first two of the second set, no points won on return by any of the players.
That was a pattern as well in the last couple of games as well towards the. I think there was 1.1 on Medi's serve when he was serving it out, but I think that might well mean that 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 service games. I think we've only seen 1 point go against.
Yeah,
because I think we had a couple of love holds, then Medi holds to 15, and now we've got a couple of love holds again.
Then we have a point on return.
Okay. Yeah. So
there is an illustrious player who went 0-3 in his first career ATP Finals appearance.
Oh, okay.
And now he is the record holder.
Djokovic went 0-3, did he?
Yeah, in 2007.
Oh, okay. Who did he lose to that year?
I don't remember, actually. I have to check. Nadal for sure. Nadal for sure, because I see many times a point from that. They played from that edition of the tournament. But then I actually have to say that I don't remember. Okay. If it was Nadal, it was not Federer for sure. Because Federer maybe was in the other group. Probably Roddick. Roddick and I don't remember. Davydenko maybe. I don't know.
I've just remembered the name of, or just found the restaurant I wanted to find. It's called Ovejas Negras. I don't know why Brazy's asking that. Brazy, where are you located? I thought you were in the US, but maybe he's planning a tapas trip to southern Spain. I know that, talking of Spain and trips, I know that Damien is off to Alicante for a challenger next week in Alicante.
Oh, no, actually, Nadal, Ferrer, and Gasquet. Okay.
Gasquet. How many match wins did Gasquet have against Djokovic?
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm checking now.
Probably a couple, but let's see.
Oh no, just one. And it probably therefore
13-1, okay.
Yeah, and it was that one at the Masters event in 2007.
Yeah.
Djokovic's picture is amusing on the ATP.
Yeah. It's really, I don't know, it's really Djokovic-like.
Yeah.
Looking with those eyes.
There you go. Thank you, Jake, as well. Also confirming. So, in terms of the match right now, what I last saw 15-30. Let me get the score back up on the screen for you. We're now at 30 all, but a little bit of pressure here. Again, first time we've had 2 points on the turn for a little while.
It's
but now
the goat pick.
Yeah. Now we have a game point.
Unlike those two picks we have in front of us right now.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're a lot meaner looking nowadays, in a good way. You know, in a tennis sort of I want to win tournaments way. But yes, when you're that age, I mean, de Minaur looks really young. He looks even younger than he was when he was at the Next Gen finals.
Yeah, I think it's actually more or less from the same year. Of course, Medvedev is 3 years older than de Minaur. So probably.
De Minaur does hold in the end as good.
Mario,
server.
do you play any tennis? Well, yeah, I play tennis. I used to play tennis in a more serious way than I do right now. But yeah, I play tennis, to answer the question.
I meant to tell you earlier, Mario, but it might not be a big problem. I have to leave at 4:30, but
4:30, okay.
4:30. But even if this goes 3, because of the quick nature of that first set, might still be here at the end.
Yeah, not a big deal.
No, I also figured that if it's 2 games, and Damien might also be able to join anyway at some point. So yeah, we'll figure it out.
What racket are you using these days? The exact one Taylor Fritz uses. So the Head Radical. That's my racket.
I have a very cheap version of that racket.
Okay.
I was in London a couple of years ago, and I think I didn't have a racket with me, or I just saw one for like 20 or 25 euros.
Okay.
And it works. And it was just like to have a second racket, you know, if anyone was visiting or whatever.
Yeah.
Thought, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It had a picture of Taylor Fritz on it, and it was the same color. I think it was orange.
It's orange.
Yeah.
As a Yonex player, that's right. Yonex, I have to say that has become more and more popular here. I mean, I don't know, where you all live, has become more and more popular lately. Also watching, I don't know, shops or anything, I'm watching them being more and more present. Before it was not really like that, actually. Even when I started playing more seriously, I never met many people using Yonex rackets, even if right now they are very popular. Yeah.
Just a quick promotional thing here on YouTube. We've got lots of videos. There's hundreds, but just in the last few days, there's this one that just Igor, a quick minute or two from Damien on Poland and Igor's potential boost for the team. We've already played Justina Fritz, but as I said earlier, if you want to check that out, there's 15 minutes of me, Matt, Damien, and Jack talking about the John Wertheim situation and his ultimate suspension from Tennis Channel, which is obviously a hot topic. But if you want to know some of our thoughts, do click on that video. The Nadal thing as well, which is an epic 1 hour, 45 minutes of Carlos, myself, Vanch, and Damien talking about 5 matches and even more specifically 5 points that were there for the taking in some respects. In fact, probably all 5 points I think maybe Rafa should have won and may well have won the match. But watch that and you'll see exactly what I mean if you're not sure, especially if you have 1 hour, 45 minutes spare. And Carlos Alcaraz, Casper Ruud preview and prediction video, which of course now we know the result from, but it is there for you if you want to laugh at some of our thoughts ahead of that clash. And also a reflection on the Jannik Sinner De Minaur video, which is still very much relevant today, even if De Minaur is in action right now. De Minaur, of course, in action right now, but it's Medvedev serving at 1-2. I have 30-15 on my screen, but in fact, I can already see that Medvedev has held. This set so far has not been too eventful, let's say.
No. Actually, no.
No, I don't think we've had a juice either. It's been quite a while since we had juice. I think we had lots of
player you have liked the most? How's played? How has looked?
Today or in general?
In general, I mean, we've seen, one match,
at the ATP final
by everybody. Yeah.
Jannik Sinner, it's pretty, I don't know. I mean, you're probably thinking Zverev as well. Even
because Sinner is the only match I haven't watched. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had other things to do.
My
there was another ball on my screen. So
my pre-tournament thoughts, except for that obvious match with Alcaraz and Casper Ruud, my pre-tournament thoughts so far are just going, maybe I would have gone Fritz in 3. I didn't make a prediction in that respect, but I said Fritz will win.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean,
But every match, I thought that even to the sort of minor details, I probably didn't expect a de Minaur break against a Sinner that then got immediately broken back. But if you, what was the score? Was it one break? Well, one break advantage per set, I think. Was it 3 and 4, maybe something like that for Sinner against de Minaur, and a similar scoreline for Zverev, Rublev. Yeah, those. Yeah, I would have been surprised if Rublev pushed, for example, a tiebreak out of Zverev.
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's still the margins. There are margins between the players, but it's not like, I don't know. I can see any player, taking the other to a tiebreak or playing a great set, and maybe the other player is not able to break. Imagine today. Let's imagine it finishes, I don't know, 6-7, 6-3, 6-3 for Sinner, for example. Is it surprising? I don't think so.
I think a straight sets win for Taylor would be very... In fact, if you said to me right now, I don't watch the match, but Taylor wins 6-4, 6-3, well, my immediate feeling or response would be, what's wrong with Yannick? What happened?
I think that Sinner is few matches away from becoming the first since 2005 to end the season never losing in straight sets. So it would be a bit weird.
Wow.
To see him, losing
the whole season, he's not lost in straight sets.
Yeah, never.
Wow. I
This
didn't
year.
even know that. I remember.
Of course, 2005, you can guess who it was. Federer, of course.
Yeah.
2005.
Wow. So Federer didn't lose. I think that's a phenomenal. I mean, I guess they're, going the whole season unbeaten is even more nuts. But
yeah, I started seeing it after the US Open.
Okay, I didn't even
after
know
the US
that.
Open, I started seeing this stat. Probably 2006 or 2005. I have to double check, of course, but it was since those Federer peak years. So yeah, because if you think about it, there's been 3 losses to Alcaraz, all at the deciding set. Medvedev at Wimbledon, it was at the deciding set as well.
Yeah.
Actually, he won also in these 6 matches that he lost. In 3 of them, I think he won a set for 6-1 or something. So
okay.
He's always had, his moments in every match, even those he lost. Yeah, it's been very consistent, that's for sure. Yeah, these are the scenarios. Of course, his results favors Fritz, but I mean only if he wins.
Yeah, right.
What I'm saying is that I know that in order for Fritz to qualify today, it's better for him, that Medvedev wins this match. But at the same time, if he loses today, then probably it would be better, if Minaur wins this one.
Yeah, it's often the case.
Because in that case, Sinner would be qualified okay, and Fritz gets to play for the second place against Minaur, which is a bit different.
This is the tweet.
Whatever.
Looking for.
Taylor hasn't got a positive head-to-head against anyone in the group, so let's see.
Indeed, yeah, this is the tweet I was looking for because somebody mentioned it in Ruud van Nistelrooy looked good, very good, John. I'm not sure if Brazy was referring to his managerial stint at Manchester United or whether there was a joke about Casper Ruud, but either way, it reminded me of this tweet from yesterday. But then somebody highlighted the fact that apparently Casper has Liverpool inclinations. There have been a few Norwegians that have had great success at Liverpool as well as, of course, Manchester United. Just seeing here, de Minaur should win that point and does. So he has a game point for a 3-2 lead, which, of course, Mario, you probably already have seen. And I'm going to go back to Google to see. Oh, okay, still at game point on Google. So this is probably 2 points ahead. But he has, according to Google now, held. So 3-2. But at least we had a juice game there for the first time in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Tsitsipas got injured last year. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, because Hurkacz played 1 or 2 matches, did he? I think
one
Tsitsipas.
match.
Okay.
One match. He actually won a set.
Okay, Tsitsipas played one match, right? Or Hurkacz won one match. Played one match.
No,
sorry.
actually, Tsitsipas played and lost the full match against Sinner.
Yeah.
And then he retired the mid-match against Rune
Yeah, got it.
after 3 games, actually. So
yeah, I
they
remember
organized...
some people were, which I didn't think was fair on Steph. I think some people were like, oh, why did he even, he obviously thought he had a chance.
It's not fair. That's also what I was referring to when I talked about Alcaraz. This is an elite tournament, the best 8 players. If I qualify, I think I have all the right to do the best I can, because people don't realize also that actually playing a match, even if losing, is different from, I don't know, money-wise than withdrawing from the tournament. But also, I mean, if I have the chance, I play. It's a tournament. This tournament is a tournament where even the appearance is something, valuable for a career, for a player. I know that Tsitsipas has already won the finals 5 years ago, 19. But I mean, it's fair for me. Hurkacz didn't deserve to be there. So, deserved to be there.
That's right. I mean, listen, Hubie would say the same. I didn't finish in the top 8 in the race. So, yeah.
No, I agree.
I'm seeing the DJ, by the way, that you were mentioning there, Dave. Yeah, he's having a good time. A couple other things, Jake, or at least one other thing. We did at least have our first deuce game for a long time, albeit that in the end, De Minaur did go on to hold. I just think that even that could... I mean, the problem that Medvedev has in this set is that he's serving, obviously, after De Minaur on each occasion, so that might help Alex. But at least we did have some danger. Okay, well, the first point it was obviously very amusing. What happened?
I mean, it's been a funny one. Medvedev has been great at the net, actually. De Minaur probably could have passed in another way, but it's been a nice point.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm about to see Medvedev collect his balls to take that first serve.
De Minaur tried to go to the body, and Daniil has been very good in...
reacting.
Reacting and playing a good volley.
Medvedev ranks pretty highly I'm just watching this point. Medvedev ranks pretty highly on the... okay, sorry, hang on a second. Oh, that's nice reactions, yeah, and then a smash, yeah. On the which player on tour would you like to go for a beer with? He's normally the first one that comes into my head.
Yeah, but not after a loss.
Yeah, maybe not. But
after a loss, I would probably choose somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, I would, like, if it was Medvedev or no one, I would still choose him. But
Medvedev or?
Like, if you said, listen, do you want to have a beer with Daniil Medvedev? He's just lost in straight sets to Taylor Fritz.
It's fine, okay.
I would still take it, but you're right. I would probably choose someone else. But yeah, and of course it depends. I mean, normally the beer, let's say it was the end of the tournament and it was 6 hours after the match finished, so that might help.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he's normally the first player that comes into my head.
I mean, he's also, kind of the player that usually gives the most insightful answers, tends to be honest, also with himself, usually.
He does, yeah, definitely.
And
now, Medvedev, I think maybe his first service game, I think he was pushed to deuce, but I don't even know if he's been pushed to deuce since that first service game. And again, he holds very comfortably this time to love. Some lovely ground strokes in there as well.
Yeah.
Have we seen any famous, like, footballers from Serie A? Normally there'll be somebody we pan on, but I haven't seen one today or any other point in the tournament.
Probably me neither.
Somebody like I've seen in the past. Conte has been there for sure. Mourinho,
I have to be honest that I'm not paying attention, so
got it.
I can be wrong.
Yeah. Which was it?
Evans, Bublik, Dimitrov? Yeah, can be choices.
Which tournaments have we seen like Ben Stiller and Maradona? Was that ATP Finals London? Did we see either of those two?
It's difficult because Ben Stiller, I've seen him many times around, actually, in India,
yeah,
West, and Rome.
But normally the US, right? Or
yeah, normally the US, but I've seen in Rome him this year probably, or last year, lately actually.
Super
No,
comfortable.
I think he came this year to see Nadal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Super comfortable hold from de Minaur this time, unlike the previous game when he got pushed to deuce. So, yeah, we've not had a break point for quite a long time since
Yes,
Medvedev got the
exactly.
second break in that first set.
So let's say that now.
Which actually, if anything, is good for Demon. You know, if you said to him at the end of that first set, we're going to have 7 very comfortable holds for you both, are you okay with that? You know, you're 4-3 up. He's now...
I mean, it's always good to, to stay close in the score.
Absolutely.
Especially when you are, close to losing because you have lost a set. So serving first, so he even avoids that uncomfortable situation of, I don't know, serving to stay in the whole match.
Yep, definitely.
Because even for Daniil, it's difficult because he would serve down in the score, but the worst it can happen, he gets broken and we are into a third. Yeah, let's see if he keeps doing this. Let's see if Daniil will drop his level a little bit, and maybe de Minaur can use his chances, or maybe he won't have any. Let's see. So far, after a bad start, de Minaur is also playing quite well in the second set, after a first one where he wasn't really spot on. So let's see.
Somebody talking about a tennis movie, Dave, in the chat there. I mean, at least in terms of football, I would certainly say this. There's been very, very few good football movies. One thought that springs to mind regarding that, but I think it applies to tennis too, is that the sport provides all the drama. We don't need we often say an expression in English anyway, is we often say something like, the script writers couldn't have written this any better, or it's even better than if you had a pen and paper and you could think about.
I'm not a fan
of
tennis movies, actually, I have to say. And you say
doesn't need to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Simply, I don't care about watching tennis in a movie, let's say. But I get why some people like it.
Sure. I'm just sharing on the screen right now. If we get a break point or something crazy on this Medvedev serve, I'll mention. I'm just sharing on the screen right now this episode that I mentioned earlier that we did on Nadal and these 5 matches. Do you know, or can you guess some of the points in some of the matches that we talked about?
5 points?
5 points that Nadal should have won. And if he does win those points, it would have been a crazy, probably different tennis history that we're talking about.
That he has lost, you mean?
That he's lost, exactly, yeah.
Probably one is Australia 17.
Australia 17, yes.
Because it was a deuce, I remember, in the third set, and they were on serve, I remember, and Federer was serving, if I remember everything correctly, but probably not.
I mean, there's this. So the 5 matches at least were Miami 2005 and the
ATP finals against Medvedev.
That's a good one, but that was the honorable. So I did, because that was such a crazy match in a way.
Because he was serving for the match, so I thought probably something with that.
There's also a crazy point in the tiebreak that is so strange and so funny that Medvedev even apologizes before the ball lands, because it's a shank off a very easy. But that got an honorable mention. Go on.
Probably the passing shot on break point up against Djokovic at Wimbledon.
Yeah. That's one of the 5.
2018. It was a 7-0, 15-40.
That's one of the 5. Yeah.
Djokovic was serving.
I think it's advantage, Rafa.
Probably. I was... but okay.
You've mentioned the point exactly. It's 7-all advantage, Rafa. And that is one of... I think it's probably, we didn't put them in an order. We didn't. But if you were to put these 5 points in order, it's a debate whether you put that at 1 or 2. In this craziness.
You're talking about tennis history. It's a bit that changed tennis history. So I don't know if something in
Medvedev holds to love, so it's 4-all. The other one that I'm surprised you haven't mentioned. Go on.
No, I wanted to guess, but
yeah, sure. You can think about it longer if you want, and we can talk about other things and come back. But for me, in this 5, because it's 5 points, really. I mean, we do talk about matches and games, but we really talk about 5 points especially. There's 2 of the 5 that are just kind of clear. You've mentioned one of them, but you haven't mentioned the other one. And I'm a little bit surprised. I thought you would mention the other one first. It's huge. It's maybe
huge. It's
maybe
huge.
the biggest point in a way. In a way, you could say it's the biggest point in the respective careers of the 2 players. In a way, that's difficult to say, especially about the person who won it. But yeah,
It's probably Djokovic. I think it's that the reason why you say I am surprised.
a little bit, but not
You are
much because of
surprised.
that. But yeah,
The most important where they have faced stuff actually, because they faced at the French Open sometimes, but I don't think French Open. He has won French Open so many times, so I don't.
And
really think
there is a point. If you were to do the opposite, if you were to do 5 points that Rafa won or that Novak lost, there is a point at the French Open.
the smash.
Yes, exactly.
The smash in 2013 semi-final.
Yeah. Even though that's the opposite narrative, if you like, because we've got that narrative of him losing points that were massive. Because it's so big, it's still got to mention for at least 1 or 2 minutes. We spoke about that point as well, or at least for 1 minute, because that's just so crazy. De Minaur had a little bit of pressure, 30 all.
I probably think that it was in Australia, the 2012 final. Rafa was up a break in the 5th set. But the exact point, actually, don't remember. Where Novak falls. No, or Rafa.
You're very close, but you're getting closer and closer. You've got the right match, the right opponent, the right year.
Okay, we'll follow the break point.
Oh, break point here, Mehdi. Thank you.
And then you'll tell me.
Yeah. I every now and again, I think you've got it, because you just did this, and I thought, okay, he's got it.
There was a crazy rally, maybe.
Break point here, Medvedev.
Not.
This could be huge.
Whatever. Yeah, let's follow this break point.
Please do, yeah.
The Minaur doesn't find the first serve, so he needs to serve the second serve. So we are into the rallying. Let's see who attacks first. The Minaur and Medvedev passes.
Wow. This is honestly the absolute opposite performance from him today compared to what we saw for large parts of that Fritz match. Just looking at a replay of a funny forehand from Medvedev.
I mean, maybe at times, let's say when you kind of hit rock bottom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You also free yourself a little bit, also maybe having spoken, having been like, okay, I'm tired, and maybe, I don't know, you go on practice the next day and you are like, okay, you know what? I've lost 1 match. Let me play, I should play more freely actually right now. That's probably what you say.
Lovely passing shot. Lovely, because that was not like one of these passing shots where the person at the net is a sitting duck.
Let's say that nobody likes to go 0-3, but if there's somebody who can be like, okay, even if I go 0-3, I don't care. It's Medvedev between the two, for different reasons. The Minaur's first appearance, of course. So whatever.
The lovely point there from Daniil, and just a very, very, very clean performance from him so far. I know, as I did touch upon earlier when we spoke about the Fritz match, that for the first 7 or 8 games, it was very competitive. But he's been so dialed in today. He's not faced a break point on serve all match, which we've seen so many times when a player is trying to serve it out, but he ultimately doesn't. Do you want me to tell you very quickly what the exact point is in this Novak?
Tell me.
So Rafa has the break. He's leading 30-15.
30-15, okay.
2 in the 5th set. And he hits a passing shot. Nadal's in a bit of trouble in the point. He hits a passing shot that Novak does not do very well with the volley at all. It bounces, and it's just nice for Rafa to hit a fairly easy ball down the line. I mean, they're both quite close to the net. There's nothing Novak can do, really. He's just got to hope that Rafa misses, and Rafa does miss by...
Yeah, probably I remember it. Okay.
1 centimeter, maybe. So
because I remember this, the score, the exact score line.
Yeah.
But I didn't really remember the dynamic of the point. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, of course, that one has to be included. And it's that one or the Wimbledon one in terms of the biggest one of the biggest what if you like, in terms of Rafa, because it's a slam final. It's also in the 5th set. It's in that moment where if he wins that point, the ifs, buts, and maybes. But yeah, Medvedev, by the way, has won the first point, not quite the biggest point of tennis history, but he has won the first point on serve here against Minaur as he tries to serve it out. There's a little net cord in that point as well. 2 net cords, actually, both benefiting slightly Minaur, but ultimately it's Medvedev who wins the point. Not sure how many shots this rally was, but may well be the longest rally of the match. And it's Minaur who's gone long.
That's a bad mistake, but he was probably overconfident.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Daniil.
Oh, okay. It's the second point. Daniil's lost the second point, has he?
No, the third one. Sorry.
Okay.
I mean, simply he hit very big with the forehand and kind of completely missed it.
Because on the previous point, that swing volley.
That's the shot of the match.
Okay. In about 60 seconds, I'll see it.
Well, I guess you won't have issues with anything you have to do.
Okay, yeah, I can see the scoreboard at least, and my 4:30.
I mean, it's not over yet. In my
I know, yeah. But we've got 2 match points here. If you can talk us through the first of them at least.
Okay. Didn't understand the celebration. Okay, whatever.
Why? What was his celebration?
This one.
Oh, really? Okay.
And of course, he got kind of booed. Whatever.
But that is, he's not got any bad reaction today from the crowd, has he?
No, indeed. I mean, I had a little bit of volume too, so
maybe there's a personal. Maybe it's a personal thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's for. Maybe it's for me and you.
He got rightfully booed in the first match.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was then. Maybe that's it.
But I mean, he's not right.
There we go. But either way, 6-2, 6-4. I think it was about 1 hour, 20 minutes. Just clinical. Absolutely clinical, as I say. Everything.
Not the fastest match, actually.
No, but that's because the first sort of 4 or 5 games where we had lots of juices.
Yeah, the fastest has been yesterday night.
Yeah.
1:12.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. This is 118, so it wasn't quite 120. But yeah, Daniil Medvedev, 6-2, 6-4 over Alex de Minaur. Where was that match won and lost today? I mean, it's not going to be the longest analysis that we've ever done, that's for sure, Mario.
No. I mean, Daniil played a good match, actually. Very good one. Let's see. Block the noise.
Okay, so yeah, again, this is the message he's got on the camera. I mean, listen, let me react to that. I mean, maybe it wasn't necessarily directed at the Turin crowd because, as we said today, he didn't get much grief, and maybe he did on Sunday for various different reasons. But maybe it was also, look, I need to block out some of the noise that's been going on in the last 48 hours, maybe more from us, perhaps, and the media and other people, for example. Maybe he also needs to listen. Maybe I'm being positive here, Mario. But maybe he just like, this is the attitude I need to focus 100% on my game, because there was a lack of focus at times in that second set on Sunday against Fritz, at least. But he's very much now. Go on. He's very much now in the block the noise. Yeah, very much now in the race. For
I think talking about the next match. No, okay, nothing interesting. Asked about tonight's match, and I mean, he just said that he has no control, of course, over it. So whatever happens,
I
happens.
see. Because tonight's match, is there a scenario that's good for Medvedev and a scenario that's bad? I guess tonight he wouldn't want Sinner to win. I don't know.
I think at this point, maybe it's better Sinner to win.
Sinner straight sets win over Fritz, and then it's
probably because at this point,
I think whatever happens now, because Medvedev lost in straights in particular to a rival. Fritz, for example, loses in 3 sets tonight. I mean, de Minaur is de Minaur done? I don't think he's quite done, but I mean, again, 2 straight sets losses for Alex really makes it super difficult for him.
For sure, the next match, he needs to play against Yannick, while Fritz will play against de Minaur. So this puts him for sure in an uncomfortable situation.
Just having a quick look at some scenarios there for Sinner.
Nobody can qualify right now. Fritz can qualify with a win.
Yeah. A Fritz straight sets win?
No, a Fritz win.
A Fritz win of any sort. Okay.
Sinner cannot qualify already today.
Listen, this is my quick take, and sometimes you need a pen and paper and some time to do this. But I think my quick take is that Daniil has now put himself in with a chance, but I think he still needs to beat Yannick. I think qualify with 1 win.
That's why I would prefer, if I'm Daniil, I would probably prefer, Sinner wins in straight, so maybe you just need 1 set. And so maybe, I don't know, we've seen Sinner last year, he was qualified, he won anyway against Rune, but I mean, for sure it's better to face an opponent in I don't know, which is in a comfortable position right now. I don't know what's better. Yes, he would still need a great result, because it's difficult to advance to the semifinal with a 1-2 record. It's really difficult.
Yeah, especially if you lose one of those in straight sets, as he did in the first match. I know he's running straight today, but maybe a 3-set loss to Yannick on Thursday, combined with a win, for example. But then he'd be relying on de Minaur to beat Taylor, still. And then the 3 of them would have a 1-2 record. And because Medvedev lost in 3 against Yannick, that might help him, particularly if de Minaur, for example, won in straight sets. I think de Minaur is pretty much toast. But given that combination, and given the likelihood that Sinner wins tonight, I think that even a Sinner win tonight would probably mean Daniil has to probably beat Yannick somehow. But now he's put himself in with a chance, because if he lost today, he could well be the one, just like de Minaur, who was out. Whereas
if he lost today, actually, it would have been very difficult for him, because
exactly,
while de Minaur is out, if Fritz wins today, Medvedev losing would have been out if Yannick wins, and Yannick win is kind of the result which feels the most possible one. So a Yannick win tonight and Medvedev is out if Medvedev loses today. He didn't, and so I mean he did what he needed. At times I'm like, when you lose a match at the ATP finals or the WTA finals, in my opinion, you don't even have to do that much calculation. I think for Daniil, I have to win every time right now if I have to progress, and I think it will be the same even against Yannick. So let's see if he will face, more.
I mean, he may face a Yannick. he may face a Yannick that's already pretty much in the semi-finals.
Yeah, that's why I think it's probably the best scenario for him, because if Fritz wins tonight, Fritz wins the group, and Sinner Medvedev would be a quarterfinal, and that would be
right.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad situation for Daniil, because I win, I progress, I lose, I go home, and it's not kind of a bad situation. At least you don't have many calculations to do. But
a Sinner
would be uncountable.
A Sinner who is he'll still be super competitive, desperate to win the group 3-0, but it'll be Sinner like 0.5%, little bit. And we have seen one or two situations, including at the WTA finals last week.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, we got to a deciding set tiebreak, and I go down 0-3, and I'm okay, it's lost. Bye.
Yeah. Exactly. And if Yannick wins two matches and lose a third one in a deciding set tiebreak, probably still wins.
I remember Daniil faced Djokovic, and Djokovic didn't need anything. Daniil desperately needed a win. Daniil desperately needed a win. Yeah. And Djokovic won in like 3 hours and 20 minutes at a deciding set tiebreak.
Yeah, and Djokovic was feeling a little bit sick, I think, and really pushed himself.
That too also.
People were like, I don't know, this could end up costing him the semis or the final because he's pushed himself so much. But, he's a competitive animal, and that is fine. Daniil Medvedev, though, today, extremely clinical, I think. As I say, pretty much flawless display from him, and arguably one of his best of the season, coming maybe just at the point he needed it most, when the demons were circling. And I don't mean the demon of Minaur, because he was not circling today in that manner. But it was Daniil Medvedev that put the doubters to bed, at least for a couple more days. And now he gives himself a chance, at least, to qualify for the semi-finals. Mario, big thanks for joining me today.
No, thank you. Thank you.
And to everybody else, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.